What if the person everyone ignored was the only one paying attention? This is a story about a man the world called slow. It is also a story about what the world missed. Daniel was 38 years old. He worked as a junior clerk in a mid-sized company. He had worked there for 11 years. He was never promoted. He spoke slowly, moved quietly, and thought for a long time before answering. People saw that as weakness. It was not. Every morning Daniel arrived before anyone else. He read every file carefully, twice, sometimes 3 times. He wrote small notes in the margins of his reports. Nobody asked about those notes. In team meetings, he raised his hand slowly. By the time he spoke, someone else had already moved on. His boss, Mr. Harris, once said in front of the room, "Daniel, we don't have all day." The room laughed softly, and Daniel closed his notebook and said nothing. One afternoon, his younger brother Caleb called him. Caleb was 31, confident, fast-talking, recently promoted. "You've been at that company for 11 years, Caleb said. "Still the same desk, still the same title." Daniel was quiet. "I'm not criticizing you," Caleb continued. "I just think you need to move faster. Think faster." "Maybe," Daniel said. "Maybe is not a plan," Caleb replied. "Some people are built for this world, Daniel. Some are not." Daniel held the phone for a moment after the call ended. He did not say anything. He looked out the window at the street below. The city moved fast. It always did. The quarterly review meeting changed everything, or so it seemed. The senior team presented a new company strategy. Everyone nodded quickly. Everyone agreed fast. Daniel had been studying the numbers for 3 weeks. He raised his hand. Mr. Harris looked at him with tired eyes. "Yes, Daniel." "I think there is a problem with the projection on page 9, Daniel said slowly. Someone at the table exhaled loudly. Another colleague whispered something. 2 people smiled. "Daniel," Mr. Harris said, "the projection was reviewed by our finance team." "I understand," Daniel said, "but the base number used is from last year's data. It has not been updated." A short silence followed. Then Mr. Harris said firmly, "Thank you, Daniel. We will note that." He moved on immediately. Nobody followed up. Daniel gathered his papers. He walked out of the room, down the corridor, and found the stairwell at the end of the hall. He sat on the cold steps alone. He did not cry. He simply sat. 11 years. And still, nobody heard him. He opened his notebook. He looked at his notes. Then he slowly closed it. For the first time in 11 years, he thought about leaving. The stairwell door opened softly. An old man stepped in. Edmund, the building's janitor. He had worked there for 30 years. He carried a mop, but he moved without hurry. He saw Daniel sitting on the steps. He did not ask what was wrong. He simply sat 1 step below him. A long silence passed between them. Then Edmund said quietly, "You still come in early?" Daniel looked at him. "Yes." "Every day for 11 years, Edmund said. It was not a question. Daniel nodded. Edmund looked at the floor for a moment. Then he asked, "When a river moves slowly, is it lost?" Daniel did not answer immediately. Edmund continued, "Or is it finding the path that does not break the ground beneath it?" Silence. "Fast water cuts fast," Edmund said. "Slow water cuts deep." He stood up slowly, picked up his mop. Before he left, he stopped at the door. "The ones who listen long," he said, "usually speak once, and when they do, the room changes." The door closed behind him. Daniel sat alone again, but the stairwell felt different now. He opened his notebook. He read his note from page 9 again. He picked up his pen. Daniel did not speak to Mr. Harris that day. He did not send an angry email. He did not demand to be heard. He went home, sat at his small desk, and spent 4 hours building a clear, simple, one-page report. He showed exactly where the projection was wrong. He showed what the correct number was. He showed what the difference would cost the company. The next morning, he placed it quietly on Mr. Harris's desk before anyone arrived. Then he went to his own desk and began his day. 3 days passed. Daniel heard nothing. On the 4th day, Mr. Harris called a short, unplanned meeting. He stood at the front of the room, holding a single sheet of paper. "We found an error in the quarterly projection," he said. "It would have cost the company significantly." He paused. Daniel identified it. He did not explain further. He moved on to the next point. But something in the room had shifted. A colleague named Sarah turned and looked at Daniel. She nodded slowly, sincerely. Daniel looked down at his notebook. He wrote one small line. Then he continued his work. How many times have you spoken clearly and still felt like no one heard you? Slow does not mean long.